What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday evening, and it is that time. So, Mega Evolutions 1 has been out in Japan for about 10 days, and the prices are starting to normalize. So, this is about the time as we approach 6 weeks before release, where we go through the historic math and we start to project what the price of the set is going to look like and what the value of the booster box is going to be for Mega Evolution. So, we started this with Surging Sparks. We continued through Journey Together, now Destined Rivals, and then as well as Prismatic and Black Bolt and White Flare. I've continued to kind of fine tune some of the formulas here and really start to push some of the pricing down. Because when we did Destin the first time, I think some of the pricing was a little bit inflated. Now, granted, we were pretty much dead on price. We were ultimately right around $300. Which is quite honestly where the box is trading today. And Surging Sparks was kind of the baseline. So this was the first set where the box prices were kind of through the roof post release. And what that did was that created a ratio of box price to set value significantly lower than what we generally have seen in the rest of Scarlet and Violet. A lot of times these numbers are mid 20s to low 30s. I mean, even right now, with where the price points are. But Surging Sparks at 17.4%. And this was last month. I didn't pull the set value. I assume it's all about the same. So it probably hasn't materially changed. So this was the low water mark. But if we look at Destined, and I pulled the set value today, which is 214, and the box price at 300, it's been between 295 and 315. It kind of bounces back and forth. Right now, we're at 14.9%. So the Destined Rivals boxes are trading at the lowest to relative value of any regular booster box in the set. Now, we look at Prismatic, it's like 2.5%. The set value, I think last I checked, was 4,800. We'll just plug this in real quick. The ETBs are still 110, so 2.3%. So, I'm still slicing the data on the specialty sets. It's not as easy of a comparison to see where they work out to. So what we did, going to Black Bolt and White Flare, we estimated somewhere around $85 per ETB. Right now, Black Bolt's at $92.72, White Flare's at $87. And again, this is just a quick recap on the methodology. And we basically just took the Japanese cards, we adjusted them to what we think the normalized price is going to be, multiplied it by 2, because the English to Japanese multiplier is on average about a 2x. This is blended across the entire set. You're going to have some cards that are more than that, some cards that are less than that. But as a matter of mathematical fact, on average, English cards tend to be valued at about 2 times what Japanese cards, at least from the rare pullable chase cards, etc. So, that being said, specially set 3.2% of set value and 2.8% for White Flare. So, that being said, it's time to look at Mega Evolutions. So, the Mega Gardevoir and the Mega Lucario, they're trading for a little bit more than this on TCG Player, but I can buy these right now on eBay at $425 each. Now, what's interesting here is it remains to be seen what the pull rates are going to be in English, because we don't really know. And with Black and White, with the Zekrom and the Reshiram, the all black, the all white, the Victini red, single color card, or whatever you want to call it, it's specially set. So the pull rates are not going to equate to these. At least they shouldn't. If they end up being 1 in 500, the price of these is going to be significantly lower. In fact, it's probably going to be closer to $100. I would anticipate they're going to be closer to 1 in 1,000, and for any individual, 1 in 3,000, or 1 in 700, and then 1 in 2,100. That would really support this price. So the latest determination, for whatever reason, is still selling for like $310, which blows my mind in Japanese. This is going to get completely whacked. And by the way, what I did here was I normalized the price based on my experience and what I'm seeing with the sets since Surging Spark. So if you look at the Mewtwo, the SIR from Destined Rivals, In Japanese, in Glory of Team Rocket, it's about $225 right now. So I've adjusted these down to 250. I'm assuming that the pull rates are a little bit more difficult. It may settle a little bit below this, but quite honestly, I think the English price for these cards is going to be around $500. A couple weeks into release. So Lily's Determination, I haircut way down to 110. These trainer cards just translate so poorly. Mega Gardevoir at 185. I adjusted that down to 110. Acarola's Mischief, I guess. I don't even know what that card is. Another trainer, 127. I adjusted that down to 25. The Mega Lucario, Latias and Venusaur, 70, 52, 52. Now, the Latias and Venusaur, these are examples of cards that could trade a little bit higher than the Japanese counterpart. But we'll see. And then the Kangaskhan, $32. So again, English price, we normalize the Japanese based on our best guess of what they're going to trade for after release, after the price of the single settles. And we use that 2x multiplier that we've seen historically in all the sets, the mature sets with an English to Japanese multiplier on the value. So that puts us $500 for each of the Gardevoir, Lucario. Lily's Determination, 220. I'm still really skittish on this. I don't think it's going to be there. Probably low 100s, mid 100s. Mega Gardevoir, 220. The other trainer, 150. Mega Lucario, 140. Latias Venusaur, $100. Kangaskhan, 68. So this gives us the value of the top chase cards, if you will, the cards with the highest value, 9 cards, of $2,006. So $2,006 is effectively what the Destined Rivals set is worth in total. Now, this isn't counting all of the other ancillary cards. I kind of use that as a hedge because some of these cards are going to trade for a little bit lower than this. So let's just assume the set value is $2,000. The Destined Rivals box set multiplier is 14.9%. That gives us an implied box price of right around $300. So when I looked at this a couple weeks ago, or right after release, I should say, the prices of the cards were all over the place. The market was a little bit of a shit show. Now that things have kind of settled in and everything has taken its rightful place in the starting gate, the value of the cards in the set looks like it's going to be similar to Destined Rivals. And I mean, quite honestly, you have the Mewtwo in Destined Rivals, and after that, you have the Cynthia's Garchomp, Ethan's Ho-Oh, but nothing too super spectacular. When you're looking at the megas with the Gardevoir, Lucario, Latias, Venusaur, these to me are much stronger Pokemon than card 4, 5, 6, and 7, if you will, in Destined Rivals. So that's a long-winded way of saying, as much as I hate to say it, I think the sets from a value perspective, they're going to be reasonably on par. So what that does is the implied value of the set, again, is going to be somewhere around $300. And I know, there's a million people out there that are like, well, we want to see MSRP. We're not going to see MSRP when the value of the cards in the set doesn't support MSRP. If there were 3 cards in the set that were worth $200, we're probably going to see a price around $160, $170 a box. But since the value of the cards in the set is inflated because they've made a damn good set, the price of the boxes are going to be in demand and they're going to be higher. Now, the one thing we have going for us is it does look like the supply of the boxes is 10%, approximately greater than Destined Rivals. The bad news is they're probably going to release between $240 and $250 again. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw $260 at release. I know right now they're selling for somewhere between $230 and $240 on TCG Player. A lot of the sites that do the bargain basement sales, pre-orders, they're all sold out. They've all increased their prices. So I would imagine that in 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be a coordinated increase in prices. We get closer to release. We'll take a step up probably to 250, 260, and that's where we're going to sit through release. So the great thing is it's a really, really good set. The Crappy part is if you're looking for a cheap set, this is not going to be the set for you. And it's just because it's a really, really good set. And while the supply of the product has increased, in my opinion, it hasn't increased to a magnitude that's going to push the price of the box down. And quite honestly, anybody getting it from distro at this point who's watched the last couple sets, including, you look Journey Together's back at 235, 240. Holding these boxes has not been a losing proposition, especially when you're getting them at distribution for, $100 or a little bit less. So, if there's a little bit of a sell off at release, that's your time to buy if you want to buy the product, open the product, etc., because it does appear that this is going to follow a similar path. Again, barring that nothing unforeseen happens or nothing that is a break in the trend from the last 5 or 6 or 7 sets. The value is going to be there. So anyway, guys, hopefully you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord. We do have our first anniversary raffle coming up. And by raffle, I mean we're selling tickets and we'll spin the wheel and you will get whatever the item comes up at. The tickets we're selling for $340 each. The value of each item is greater than that, significantly greater if you factor in sales tax. And then we are also giving away about 20 Silver Tempest ETBs, assuming we sell everything out. We still have a little bit to go. And the raffle's not going to be till next Sunday. So if you're interested, join the Discord. You can check out the tickets on the website as well. So anyway, guys, have a great night.